Rachel, kia ora, good morning.
Kia ora, morena, Jack.
I don't want to give too much away, but the thing that struck me with this film, not to sound too seventh form English about it all, is that
You're on my level.
Yeah, there are some big themes. There are
they're
some
massive.
big themes.
Massive. What do you think?
I think
what was your major takeaway?
I thought it was a story about what matters in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so too.
And yeah,
Kemp Powers, who's one of the co-directors and co-writers, he tells us amazing story about Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock and whatnot, and this incredible moment they had where Herbie was playing with Miles and he was really scared, and then he makes this mistake, and Miles just ran with it, and Kemp was saying, that's pretty much the film. Life is about taking what you're thrown and making something beautiful.
Right. So like rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah. For our viewers who haven't yet seen the film,
yes,
can you just give us a bit of background, a bit of a synopsis without giving too much away?
No, that's right. So our wonderful lead protagonist is called Joe Gardner, and he is a music teacher at a middle school. Middle school is, I think...
Like intermediate school,
I think it's more like third form.
Oh, okay, yep.
You made third, fourth
form. It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
Mm. And, he has always dreamed of being a professional jazz musician. And he finally cuts a break. One of his ex-students, played by David Diggs, gives him a call and says, hey, do you want to come and play with this really outstanding jazz quartet? And it's super exciting, and Joe can't believe his luck. And then just as he, is preparing himself, he falls down a manhole and ends up in a place called the Great Beyond, where, in this film, in this reality, that's where we all go. And he manages to escape the Great Beyond and go to the Great Before, where they teach souls in their purest form, these little souls, and they encourage their personalities and traits to come out. And that's where he meets 22, played by Tina Fey, who's a soul who just thinks Earth is all about smashing souls.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get a life.
Yeah.
Is the big joke.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's kind of like a guy is like about to realize his dream, looks like he's died, then it's like, oh no, it looks like he's slipped back into like pre-life somehow. It's like quite a complex story.
It's complex.
But this is the thing I actually love about Pixar films as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm a man in his mid-30s without any children, so I'm not usually...
You look great.
Thank you so much. I'll give you all my secret afterwards. It's like the top shelf stuff at Kirkcaldy and Staines, No, and so I wouldn't usually be drawn to an animated film, honestly. But then I watched Pixar films, and they're incredibly clever in the way they kind of hook in adults as well as children, so they can relate to people on different levels.
I mean, I'm so excited about adults going to see this film because I really think people will take away something very special. It will make them feel a particular way and make them feel reflective, I think, on life and what we ignore. And maybe what we shouldn't, It's not a tally-off film, by the way.
No.
It just does make you reflect, doesn't it?
Do you know, it's actually a perfect film for the time as well, because
it is, yeah.
Like one of the things I found during COVID, I don't know about you, but yes. I found that it really brought into focus the things that were important to me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do think so many people I know and myself, you kind of had to face yourself. You kind of had to look inwards and bring all that to the fore, what you're talking about, what is important.
How did that work for you?
Yeah, what do you mean? How did I do it?
During COVID? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that I just had to have a good look. I did the thing that I think so many people did, where we thought, oh, wow, we've got this time. Like, we should absolutely utilize this time to catch up on a whole lot of stuff, clean the house, or, the third drawer.
Yeah. Yeah,
all that stuff. And then just stopped and looked around and walked around. I mean, it was an incredible time to walk around the city because we actually got to see where we lived without all the cars and I thought it was I'm being a bit of a hippie now, but I really loved the break it gave Earth.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, it's like the whole Earth just stopped, eh? I found the relationship thing
nature.
too. Yeah. And for me, it was the relationship thing too. Like all of a sudden, I was like, I've got friends overseas. I want to talk to those friends.
Yeah,
And then when you
lots
could
of
see
Zooming.
people in person, all of a sudden you were like, I can see you every week usually.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah.
And now that I'm seeing you, I'm just so grateful that you're here.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you saying that during lockdown you became much more grateful about all the
Yeah,
things like Joe Gardner?
This is my point.
So sorry,
Yeah.
I'm taking. I'm so
We're on the same
sorry.
level.
We
No,
were
no,
on the
no.
same level. I
No,
just
no,
took
no, no,
longer to
no.
get there. I'm so sorry about
This
that.
is my point. It's a film for the time.
It's so a film for the time because of that. You're absolutely right. Yes.
You've done how many Disney films now? Like maybe 4?
No, 2.
No, because you got.
Oh, thought. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I forget that.
Losing count.
No. Oh gosh, no. I didn't mean to sound like
No,
that.
no, I'm joking. You didn't.
3.
That's pretty good, eh?
4.
4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
One was in a film. Anyway,
Yeah.
one was a series. But anyway,
what do you think Disney loves so much about you?
I have no idea,
Rubbish.
but I'm really happy.
Rubbish.
No, I was just fortunate. It was all timing. It really was. It was all serendipitous timing.
Tell me about that. I don't know.
Well, they make, Disney had the very good sense to make an extraordinary, I thought it was extraordinary tribute to the way our Polynesian navigators managed to travel the world, and the way in which they did it was to navigate by the stars.
Talking about Moana?
Yeah, Moana. So they had the good sense to make a wonderful exploration of that, a film that explored that. And so, that was really the timing. And so I lucked in, landing that role. And then I think that's often what happens. It's not dissimilar to me and Taika. I lucked in working with him, and now we're still working together, to this day. So it is about, I think this industry is very much about relationships.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about. I've been talking about this a lot with friends lately, and you really want to continue those relationships with the people that you had a good experience with, that you enjoy working with. Yeah.
Tell me about you and Taika and the way in which you've managed to bring the New Zealand accent to the world of films, because it is really interesting. Like, it's the first time you ever hear it.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And maybe the first time was when Taika was in Thor, or and all of a sudden you're like, whoa! It's just
Yes.
when you hear it at that kind of level.
I think the Concords had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, true.
People got you. It used to be unthinkable to cast, I guess, Australians and New Zealanders in American films, but simply because nobody would understand them. But I think the more that our accent is out there, the more people will understand, and therefore we're going to be in more of their films, I guess. And they do find it sweet and hilarious, so that works in our favour.
Do you think it's like that's going to cast type the Kiwi accent a bit? Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows?
It's not something we need to be too worried about at the moment.
No,
it's still
we're
nice
not.
to hear
No,
one.
exactly.
But you don't find that it's an issue with people understanding you guys or anything? Like, because I lived in the States for years, and my closest American friends don't understand me if I speak quickly, or if I don't make a real effort to enunciate, or if they can't see my mouth.
Yeah, I think that still happens, but they sort of all love hearing it. I went to film school in Prague, and there were 36 different countries represented at that school. So there were students from 36 different countries, and my accent was voted as the most difficult to understand.
Really? I thought you were going to say sexiest.
No. No, people were constantly going, what?
Huh?
Pardon?
What?
Yeah.
Do you like saying that line? I went to film school in Prague.
I do,
in Prague.
Yeah, but it is a reality, so
No,
it's
I
not
know,
meant
I'm
to
teasing.
be,
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, it does sound, yeah.
So I know that Soul was originally planned they were going to do the big theatrical release, and then obviously the world changed, the world stopped, the world paused and breathed, like you said, and they're releasing it on Disney Plus. Is this going to be, like, is there a sense that COVID has kind of changed the way that films are going to be made and released in the future?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also thought something that happened during lockdown, and I don't know if I'm just going to say
Yeah,
it.
say it.
I thought something that happened was this whole, the celebrity culture became less popular, and I think that's a good thing.
Why do you say that happened? Why do you think that happened?
For all sorts of reasons. I think there were lots of celebrities who were trying to give, messages of hope, but came across as quite, naive and ostentatious and out of touch with the world.
The Gal Gadot video.
Well, there was that.
That was
a big one.
Yeah.
But, I think Joe Gardner, Jack Tame, experience of lockdown, I think people recognise that there's much more greater things to concern yourself with.
Yeah, right. And that, like, the shallowness of celebrity culture.
The shallowness of celebrity culture.
The moment you kind of didn't have that, it was like, oh.
Yeah,
actually,
it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Unless they did have something truly good to say. And sometimes it was just about sharing, what goes on in their household.
Yeah.
As busy people dealing with real life.
Yeah.
Before
we let you go, this is being released on Boxing Day, so I know it's a time of year that there are lots of sort of niche films come out. Do you have a favourite Christmas film?
Soul.
You're so on message.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you,
It's lovely to
Jack.
chat, and congratulations.
Kia ora.